Hello, my name's Moira Dory, and I'm going to present to you today the short video on reviewing your controls. So why are controls for energy using items important? Firstly, it avoids wasted energy. Secondly, it will maintain a comfortable working environment for you. And thirdly, it supports energy awareness for students and staff in your school. So we're going to start with heating controls. Heating is about half of all schools' energy use, so it's really important to get to grips with this. Firstly, many of you will have thermostatic radiator valves, TRVs, on your radiators. So how frustrating is it when you look at your school and see the windows open when you know the heating's on? Encourage your staff to turn off TRVs before opening windows. Secondly, turn down TRVs on radiators in classrooms that are known to be hot or in corridors and toilets. They don't need to have the heating fully on. Thirdly, locate and review your thermostats to avoid overheating. And lastly, when thinking about hot water, set heating times on hot water to switch off overnight, at weekends and out of terms. That can save 70% of hot water heating use. Moving on to tips for main heating controls. Understanding your school's boilers or how they're controlled will help maximize efficiency. Here are some questions to ask yourself that can lead to improving the heating settings. Can you access the main boiler controls? If so, when is heating set to switch on and off? Is there any heating needed on at weekends or indeed in the evenings? What's the target temperature for heating? Can this be reduced? The recommended temperature for classrooms is 19 degrees, a bit warmer for the offices, but it's really worth looking at that and considering whether you can reduce the temperature. And lastly, do the main heating controls take outside temperature into account? And if so, are timings correctly set to reflect this? Moving on now from heating to lighting, there are a number of sources of data to check, which include how are your indoor lights controlled? Are there on-off switches and who controls these? In other words, do teachers and students turn off lights? Are any indoor lights controlled by sensors? Are there problems with these that need to be addressed? Moving to outdoor lighting, how's that controlled? Are outdoor lights on timers? Could they be reset to be off more? And lastly, are outdoor lights on during the day? What's causing this, and can students identify this for you? Can they point out when there's lights on that should not be? And lastly, looking at air conditioning. You won't all have air conditioning. Some of you will have it in offices. Some of you may have had air conditioning added to some classrooms. The first message is that setting air conditioning very low does not speed up cooling. I suggest you agree a cooling set point of around 22 to 23 degrees centigrade. Any cooler than that will waste energy. Ensure that air conditioning is not left on in unoccupied rooms. You could use a timer to switch off cooling if possible, or set it that the staff can push a boost button perhaps for an hour of air conditioning at a time. And lastly, check with IT how much server room cooling is needed. Modern servers function optimally up to 30 degrees, although a lot of server rooms are still set to 18 or 19 degrees. It's not needed. So in summary, what control actions will you take? Firstly, control of thermostatic radiator valves, turn them off when windows are open, and control them for corridors and hot classrooms. Locate and reduce thermostats and your hot water temperature where possible. Understand your main boiler settings and reduce the settings for temperature and time when the building is unoccupied. Look at your lighting controls and sensors. Switch off lighting where possible. And lastly, review air conditioning controls. Make sure that the times are not overshooting to avoid overcooling or wasting energy. So that was a brief summary of how controls can help you with controlling your energy. If you'd like to find out more and get involved with us, then look up the website that's shown on the screen here or get in touch with us. Thank you very much.